Good morning. Today, I'm talking to Sebastian and Karen, who are both college student interns with Future Cities Incorporated. Um, FCI has been a grantee of YLACES annually for a number of years, but most recently, they've moved from worrying about the water quality, because they're right adjacent, well, they're right across from the New York Harbor. They've been turning their focus to air quality and its effects on the community in which they live. So welcome. Um, Sebastian, would you say a couple of words about what you're studying in school?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Sebastian, and I am a student at Rutgers Newark. I'm doing a double major of math and physics. I'm being involved with the Purple Air has been interested because we look a lot of data, and we also look our community and I try to merge both topics. Yeah.
So, and Karen, would you?
So I am a biochemistry and molecular biology major at Drew University. So in my classes, we kind of talk about air quality and water quality themselves and how it can impact not just humans, but also animal life itself. So
All
this
right.
kind
Well, would one of you, I do know our most recent grant provided, I believe, 5 purple air sensors for deployment in the community around FCI. So would one of you say a few words about what these sensors are and what they do?
yes. So the purple air sensors are basically air quality sensors that measure particulate matter in an area. And what they do is that the particulate matter is categorized in 3 sizes in diameter. So there's 1 micrometer in diameter, 2.5 micrometers in diameter, and 10 micrometers in diameter. And once the sensor, like it has a laser sensor that uses a fan to bring in a sample of the air. And that's how it categorizes the particulates in the air at that time and categorizes them to see how much of each is within the air at that time. So purple air monitors basically measure air in real time.
So why should we care about these different sizes of particles?
Um, we should care because it can affect our health. So in terms of these particulates that are in the air, they can enter our bloodstream once we like breathe them in. And once they become embedded into our bloodstream, what can happen is that we can run a risk of getting a cardiovascular disease or any other respiratory disease as well. So it increases our risk.
Got it. Well, so could you say a little about how often do you guys sample the air in these locations? And I gather the 5 sensors are permanently mounted in specific places. Could you say a little about where they're sampling and how often they're sampling?
Yes, so to answer your question, I'm going to show you the current map of the purple air. So we have 5 sensors in our city. So we're going to start by this one with the number 13. This is located in Bonnet House, that is our office. So the importance of this sensor is that it's like 1 block away from Route 109. Route 109 is interstate route, and there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of trucks that move throughout this route. Something important about this area is that it's a connector of the airport with other areas in New Jersey. So that's the importance of the sensor, that we can see the traffic and how the emissions of the trucks can impact our health. Number 5 It's close by the turnpike. Also, the turnpike is an interstate route. And the same, so we're trying to see how these routes connect to, can impact our health and the area. This sensor over here, it's by the Bayway complex. The Bayway complex is a refinery, and it also has other companies and industries. And by having this sensor here, we're trying to measure and see how the emissions of these companies are affecting our environment and our health. And this one over here, it's a more residential area, but it's also close by the Garden State Parkway. So we can see the difference between the areas, but also as well the emissions of the Garden State Parkway. Um, the importance of this map is that it's live. So once you log in, you can see in real time what the sensors are collecting. So if, for example, if you have a health condition that you cannot go out in certain like air quality conditions, if you use this map, you can sense and see if it's good in the area for you to visit. Yeah, that's.
So you're taking data continuously
Yes, and it's.
and sharing it with the community. That's wonderful. Um, so I'm also interested, besides serving the community, how working on this project is affecting you both as budding scientists studying quite important disciplines within the sciences. So how have you seen working with the purple air sensors and being involved in this project? Has it had any effect on you?
Personally, it has had an impact because at first we had to learn how to use the sensors, and once we knew how to use them and how to install it, we had to share this knowledge with the like the other places that we had our sensors. We had to teach them how to install it and how to keep them online, because sometimes there's drops in the energy or in the Wi-Fi. So when that happens, they have to restart the process. So it's important to me to be able to do this, because in the future in my career, I will have to be able to share the knowledge that I have, and in a way that is easier to understand and useful to others.
Wow. Karen, how about you?
I agree with what Sebastian said. It definitely, the process of working with the purple air monitors teaches how to gather data and also how to convey that data in a way that is comprehensible to everyone in the community. And so that I can try and see what other data I can collect and provide to others, because it provides sort of like a feedback to the person who is doing it.
So you all are already, I guess, from your being science majors, you're used to thinking scientifically, if I understand correctly.
Yes.
All right. Um, so you've illustrated some impact upon the community in being able to determine the respiratory conditions a person maybe at some risk would be encountering when they go out on a given day. Are there any other impacts you've seen on the community from?
That will be one of the next steps, sharing the sensor that we have with the community and the information that it gathers. Um, at the moment, we connected these sensors to our website, but we're working on sharing them more with the community.
All right. Um, would you say something or share a little about the data you've collected and what these data show?
We have been looking at the data since last summer when we started using these sensors, and we have seen the change because last year during the pandemic and we were in lockdown, there wasn't as much traffic. And now with restrictions being lifted, we can see the change in the sensors, because now there's more traffic, there's more movement in the area. So we can see that change with the sensors.
Well, so you've gotten a real natural experiment. You'll be able to contrast pandemic conditions with post-pandemic conditions and see what the effects are. Are there any key questions or hypotheses you want to test by analyzing these data?
For the moment, we're just trying to learn the software of the purple air sensors and the sensors by themselves. We haven't looked at a
So,
specific question. We're just seeing the data that we collected and see day by day the changes
so
that we have.
yeah, so you're really at the beginning of the scientific method, heavily into the observation phase.
Yes.
Although I guess you have a strategy in the sense of where you've chosen to place the sensors and the fact that you have, these are the variables you're going to measure, the different particle dimensions. So anything else you really would like to share with the community about this activity?
That with the events that we had in Future City Inc., like the Environmental and Estuary Day, we were able to share these sensors with the students. They were attended by the local high schools and middle schools. So they got the chance to see how the air sensor works and in the areas that we had it and the importance of the areas. And yeah, that's what we have shared with them, with the
That,
community.
that's wonderful. I'm hopeful those students might pitch in on the data analysis and
Yeah.
learn more scientifically themselves. Well, very good. Well, thank you for talking to me today. This is wonderful. I feel like our investment with FCI, as well as all of our earlier investments on water quality, have well been worthwhile. So all the best in your studies and in your continuing work as interns at FCI.